Good afternoon. I'm setting up to show you guys how to create the media study that I gave you this past week. And you know, one of the questions that may come up for you is like, how do you get around doing ruler measurements? Part of it is practice with the ruler. The other thing is learning how to use shortcuts. One of the things I really like to use a lot for shortcuts is a light table. But as everybody will say, sometimes a light table is not available. For instance, you might not be able to get into the studio during the daylight hours and therefore not have a light table available to you. Well, I'll give you my second best favorite light table. Here it is, the Great Outdoors, the window. And so what I'm going to do is set up my tracing of my template onto my Bristol board using this as a light table. And so what I do first is get the template. This would be the one, right? Oh, I'm holding it upside down, of course. This would be the one that you need. And I'm going to be tracing the large section over here that is the full-size template. I prefer masking tape. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that. I prefer masking tape for this kind of thing, not Scotch tape, because it's easier to get back off of the paper and the glass. It's important. The masking tape is an important element in the success of this this demonstration and in your media study, because you're going to be actually masking off this strip that we're creating here. Let's see. Boom. All right. I've got a pad of Bristol here. I bought this at Hobby Lobby for just a little over $10. I want to remind you, when you go to buy this stuff, that if you're clever, you'll use their 40% off coupon that you can get online. There are ways of getting it. You can get it on your phone, or you can get it on a computer and print it out before you go to the store. So next, I'm taping my template up onto the Bristol, and I'm going to cheat and just line it up with the side edge of the 8.5 by 11 sheet and kind of center it on there. I'm pretty much eyeballing that. The next thing I'm going to say is a commercial for going to get your rulers, get templates. Today I'm using a variety of ruler and template items that I have. But mainly because I don't want to use one of these long rulers standing up on the window here. The long ruler will fold back on me, and it'll probably be pretty inconvenient. The other thing, I'm telling you what I tend to use. This is what I tend to use, which is a mechanical pencil. I'm making measurements. That's a mechanical procedure, and so I find it to be useful to use a mechanical pencil for that, because it keeps the pencil point fine and it keeps it consistent. So I'm using this this ruler. This is actually a tight gauge ruler. Ask me sometime if you want to know what we did with that back in the day before the computer. And I'm going to use it just to trace my template. I can see it perfectly under here in this nice bright afternoon sunlight. And one of the key ideas here is I tend to trace with a ruler or a template in a consistent manner, very lightly, so that it doesn't make heavy graphite powder on the paper, and so that if I ever needed to erase, I could without much effort. I'm barely touching the paper here to make my marks. And the light is pretty much falling on it, you can't even see it. But now for the short marks, I'm going to use the circle template because it's got a straight edge on it, and it's just easier to hold. The only other convenient thing about a light table is that when you're not sure of what you've traced, you can turn the light off. The sun is kind of hard to turn off. Alright, but in order to see what I've done, I'm going to have to pull it off, separate it from the tracing, from the template, and see what I have. I tilted away so that I can see that I've completed it, which I have. So I didn't untape it entirely in case I needed to put it back and complete it. Very important. A lot of times you run into things where you forgot to trace something. And this is what the completed piece looks like.